Welcome to the uh, course on Big Data with Hadoop. As part of this series, we will be covering data organization patterns. To go with what is data organization pattern? Basically, when you are going with many of the organizations today, when they have to deal with large amount of data for analytical purpose, they mostly depend on Hadoop and Hadoop related projects as well as such as for processing MapReduce or Spark and so on and so forth. So, when you are working with analytical part on larger amount of data, the data needs to be organized in particular way. Organization in the sense that you need to transform the data from one form to another format. So while you are transforming that, which is exposed to many other systems, then your data organization pattern comes into scenario. So to make it possible, in MapReduce, we are dealing with one type of data organization pattern named partitioning pattern. And the intent for using this particular partitioning pattern is that when you are dealing with larger amounts of data, it has to be partitioned into smaller bits or smaller data sets. When you are creating smaller data sets, you have to focus on certain parameter, and that parameter we can make it as a distinct parameter to make a smaller data sets. That is a major intention behind using this particular pattern. And motivation, to go with a detailed example, in most of the data sets we come across with the date as one of the parameter, as a common parameter. And when you are partitioning the data set based on the parameter date, then we'll have a scenario such as we had posted something on some of the application. Billions of users has posted certain reviews or comments and so on and so forth, and company wants to segregate those things based on date. Then we can use partitioning pattern based on date. Here we come up with two or many of the parameters. In a day, how many posts in a particular hour, that is also possible. Or else in a week, day wise partitioning can be happening, where if you are going with a week, then 7 partitions are going to be made, one partition per one particular day. This is also possible. Or else in a year, per particular month, then we are going to get 12 partitions. If you are going with year wise partitioning, per month, then we do have 12 partitions. For each month we will have one particular partition. So there are many things which comes into scenario, but where you can apply this, if you are going to see this, where you want to know with how many smaller data sets you have to work, then we are going to apply partitioning patterns over there. If you are going with this partitioning pattern, then the best example is that you will have a clear cut idea that you need not to deal with larger amounts of data. You can work with smaller amount of data based on certain query. If I require, if I am taking a query such as I want the posts which are being posted on my website from 10th January, sorry, from 10th January to 3rd February. Then instead of dealing with the entire data set, I can deal with only the data which falls under Jan and Feb. Means I am reducing the overhead which is being generated at network side, as well as I am improving the performance. And this is a one best scenario or applicability where you can go with partitioning pattern. And this is a structure how partitioning patterns are going to be implemented, where we will have an input splits which were being generated out of the blocks of a particular file. these input splits are going to be the input for your identity mapper. And identity mapper, what it does, it just filter out or parses the data set, and it produces the output which will be passed to a partitioner class. So the new thing in this particular thing is, in this partitioning pattern is, you are going to deal with partitioner class. You are going to customize that partitioner class according to our requirement. And the output of partitioner class will be the input for your shuffling and sorting, where shuffling and sorting between the among various computers happens, and it will be straightforwardly passed on to your reducer, where reducer is going to group the things based on their month, week, day, or particular time, or particular month or year, and it will segregate the things. So we'll have one particular example on partitioning pattern, but common use cases of partitioning pattern can be applied on a continuous values or a category of values, or when you are applying certain sharding. If you are going with continuous values, then date and time is a continuous value. That is a best example. If you are going with categorical value, then post from a particular country or post from in a particular language. On a category base, you can have partitioning pattern. Or else if you are working with sharding, where you want to divide a particular data set into certain partitions, and you want to store it on a separate disks, then you are going to shard the data. In sharding also, partition patterns are going to be useful. To come up with an example, we are taking users.xml, who is posting certain posts. Over here, we want to know the last access date of a particular user. A particular user, when he has posted a particular post, and what was the date, or we can have year. A particular user, in which particular year he has lastly posted a post. So that is a problem statement which we are taking for this example. In the driver class, the only one change which you are going to come across is, you are going to create a new class, along with mapper and reducer class. You are going to create a partitioner class that is going to be customizable, that is going to be customizing the things according to our requirement. And two more things over here, we are setting our reducer tasks to 4. Why 4? Because over here we are applying a logic that we want to know the years in between 2008 to 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are going to have 4 years. So we want 4 reducer tasks needs to be working. So these are the lines which are different from our boilerplate code of driver class. Coming to mapper class, we are going to retrieve the last access date from the data set. Lastly, when he has accessed the particular website or an application, and it will be stored in date variable, string date variable, and this string date variable is being passed to the calendar object, where it will be retrieving the year according to the date. If it is 23 of November of 2008, it is going to retrieve only the year, and this year will be set towards your key, and in this year which particular post, the value is going to be sent, or it will be written as a output of mapper to the context object. These two parameters are going to be passed to the partitioner class, which will be the input for your partitioner class, such as int writable, that is your year, and the post which he has made, that is text. And in partitioner class, you are going to set the configuration for your reducer class, saying that this partitioner, what it does, based on the year, it will create the partitions. If certain post is belonging to 2008, it will be included in 2008. if certain post is included in 2009, then it will be appended to 2009, and these are the partitions which will be sent towards your reducer. And in reducer, nothing much is there to work with reducer, just whatever values it is receiving from the partitioner, it will be writing to the output file. Just the year and some null writable, nothing is there, only the year is going to be appended in the output file, and year as well as which particular user, when in which particular year he has posted, this will be written to your output class. So here we comes to the end of our partitioning. Thank you.